Hi guys, Attorney Marc Victor here with the Attorneys for Freedom Law Firm. And today I want to talk to my fellow Arizona residents who have a choice to make very soon on Proposition 207. You know which one it is, the one to legalize recreational marijuana here in Arizona. And if you're a voter, here's why you should vote for it. I want to give you a little overview of what it's about and, of course, why I think you should vote for it if you're a voter. First off, let's make a distinction between philosophy and politics. In terms of philosophy, no, this isn't the best possible initiative that we could have regarding ending the drug war. It's not. There's a lot of things wrong with it. It's not what I would want. But in terms of politics and what could actually be done right now, today, here in Arizona, that's a different story. And so politics requires compromise. So this thing is not a perfect initiative, and I don't want to present it as if it is. There's got lots of problems, but it's way better than otherwise. It's much better than what we have now. So let me give a couple analogies first. Proposition 200 came in 1996 here in Arizona. Basically what this said is, I know, how about we don't put pot smokers in jail or prison if they're first timers? Can you believe this was actually controversial in 1996? And it passed. And I think obviously that's turned out to be a good thing, despite the people on the other side who said, oh my God, the sky's going to fall if we don't put pot smokers in jail or prison. The sky didn't fall and it turned out just fine. Then we got the Medical Marijuana Act. And again, the people on the wrong side of the issue said, oh my God, if we pass this, the sky's going to fall, terrible things will happen. It didn't. It worked out just fine. And again, no legislation is perfect, and there's going to be some interpretation here as well, and I don't know which way the courts will go, but some of these issues in Prop 207 weren't thought all the way through, and it's not fully comprehensive. But let me give you the 30,000-foot view and why I think that for people who are inclined to vote, you should vote yes on Prop 207. First off, what it does is it makes marijuana legal for someone who's 21 or older for recreational use. No, you don't have to use it because you've got some debilitating condition. You can use marijuana just for the fun of it. And it legalizes up to 1 ounce of marijuana, which I understand is quite a bit. Also, up to 5 grams of concentrate. You have to use it on private property. You can't use it in public, and there are some definitions about what private property is. You actually can grow up to 6 marijuana plants in a locked facility on private property. If there are other adults in the house, let's say if there's 2 adults, you can grow 12 plants if you want in a locked facility. Very important, Prop 207 fixes a huge problem with our DUI laws. A lot of people don't know this, but right now, you're actually guilty of a DUI if you have even a trace amount of THC or the active metabolite in your system, even if you're driving perfectly fine and you're not impaired at all. It's completely outrageous. Prop 207 totally changes that. It doesn't do away with DUI. It doesn't do away with marijuana DUI. What it says is you're in trouble if you are smoking marijuana and then you're impaired to the slightest degree and then you drive your vehicle. Okay, fair enough. It's not exactly the way I would word it, but it's much better than what we have now. It improves some testing and labeling standards, so we get some more standardization of marijuana. Also, it raises lots of money for lots of really good purposes. I don't have enough time to go through them right now, but things like education and some enforcement, public health issues, things like that, some education and outreach. Lots of money goes into that direction instead of incarcerating peaceful pot smokers. And then very, very importantly, Prop 207 has some expungement provisions. What does that mean? It means if you have been convicted or even arrested and charged with a possession of marijuana offense, this is something that might be on your record, may even be just an arrest record. If Prop 207 passes, you're going to be able to not just completely clean that up, but seal it up. You'll be able to say, I never was convicted of a felony or a misdemeanor if it was as a result of a possession of marijuana case. So some very important expungement provisions are part of Prop 207. And so if this passes and you have a conviction on your record for possession of marijuana or possession of paraphernalia, you should give us a call immediately and let's get the thing fixed and off your record and get everything sealed. Also, for people who have cases pending, those are going to be dismissed and records expunged. So it goes a long way to righting some past wrongs. It avoids some past problems with those other two initiatives I mentioned, the Prop 200 one and the medical marijuana. It left some questions open. Some of them did about what's paraphernalia. Is paraphernalia included? Yes, paraphernalia is included explicitly in Prop 207. That left some of the medical marijuana provisions left open. What's the definition of marijuana? This is clarified. It includes all parts of the plant, including the resin, and so everything is included. The forces of evil won't be able to prosecute people for little loopholes in 207. Also, it prevents officers from detaining people, searching people, arresting them, or even forfeiting their property as a result of simply possessing 1 ounce or less of marijuana. And also, if you're slightly outside the act, unlike the medical marijuana provision, where if you're outside the act, you get no protection whatsoever, Prop 207 says, look, if you're outside, you got a little bit over that 1 ounce, actually up to 2.5 ounces, no big deal. It's a very, very small infraction. It's not going to ruin your life. There are some objections that Prop 207 has anticipated. They made it very, very clear that you cannot drive impaired. And it does provide $10 million for DUI enforcement. So people who might worry about, oh my God, we're going to have more impaired drivers, I wouldn't worry about that. Hasn't panned out in other states. It's not going to pan out here. And Prop 207, like I said, brings lots more money for DUI. For people who are foolish enough to smoke marijuana and then drive in an impaired way down the street, it will make more likely that these people will be apprehended. If you're an employer and you're worried about, oh my God, my employees are going to come in, they're going to be high or stoned, don't worry. 207 makes it very clear that employers have every right to insist on a drug-free workplace. Private property owners also always obviously have the right to say no smoking marijuana on my property. This is a matter of private property. It's an important freedom issue. Prop 207 makes that clear. And the sales, and a lot of people don't like this, including me, sales are still very regulated by license. There's a very limited number of licenses. It's going to be mostly the existing dispensaries who are going to sell marijuana. Yes, it does create a bit of a sort of cartel, if you will, or monopoly between the different dispensaries in town. So you don't get to just sell marijuana if Prop 207 passes. You have to have a license. So there are a few problems left lingering with 207, as I've mentioned. The protectionism problem for the dispensaries. It's great if you're a dispensary owner with a license. For everybody else who wants to enter the business, they're probably going to be out of luck. There'll be a few extra licenses, but not the sort of free-for-all sales that some people would like, others wouldn't. People who grow marijuana plants may exceed the 1 ounce that's allowed of recreational marijuana. This is left an unanswered question. Don't know how these people will be treated. Of course, up to 2.5 ounces, not a big deal. You can grow plants. It's not clear if you could move the plants, how you move the plants. This will have to be interpreted. And obviously there is absolutely no protection for sales. You got to have a license to sell it. If you sell marijuana, even after 207, and you don't have a license, you're going to get popped for for the crime of unlawfully selling marijuana. So there is going to be some language that needs to be interpreted. Of course, if you're an adult, someone over 21, after 207 passes, and I think it will, and I hope it will, but if you're a voter, get out there and vote for it to make sure it passes. Yes, you can share your marijuana with other competent adults, people who are over 21. As long as no money changes hands, no big deal. So anyways, this is a giant step in the right direction here in Arizona to trying to end big portions of this drug war. Enough money and time has been wasted and lives have been ruined over incarcerating people in these marijuana cases, and so much violence and black market activity will be, if not completely gone, very dramatically reduced, at least in my opinion. So anyways, there you have it. That's the 30,000-foot overview on Prop 207. You still have time to get out there. Read the proposition if you have more questions. You can also get a hold of me. My name is Mark Victor. I'm with the Attorneys for Freedom Law Firm. You can email me directly. It's real easy. It's just Mark, M-A-R-C, @attorneysforfreedom.com, and I'd be happy to answer your questions. Peace out.